And now, the general weather around Alaska.
There's still a winter storm warning out for the eastern Alaska range here for the overnight period tonight, ending at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning for a few inches of additional snow with winds gusting to 50 miles an hour, creating some blowing snow conditions, reducing visibilities. And also a winter weather advisory remains out for the northern half of the Copper River Basin for some additional snow, mainly this evening, overnight tonight, and then that advisory also ends at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. And could see winds gusting to 40 miles an hour, creating blowing snow conditions in the higher elevations here to the north, mostly Paxton northward. And from there, satellite imagery showing all the clouds with the snow and temperatures coming down, cooler air coming in from the northwest here as the whole pattern shifts eastward. Some more moisture streaming northeastward with some clouds right up to the southeast coast here at mid-afternoon. Another batch of clouds and snow coming into the western Arctic coast and some light precipitation on down to the south here into the mainly northern Seward Peninsula area. Clear skies today, Kodiak Island with gusty northwest winds slowly diminishing, clearing into Bristol Bay. Some of this clearing trying to get into western Cook Inlet in the afternoon hours today. And a swath of clear skies, or mostly clear skies, extending up into the central interior with some light snow around Fairbanks today and snow all day long at Delta Junction, again into the eastern Alaska range, and rain over the Copper River Basin. Next front pushing wind and rain into the western Aleutians. On the chart today, or rolling this again one more time, you see moisture moving rapidly in a strong southwest jet here up toward the southeast coast with that feature. This one kind of pushing eastward a little bit there. On the chart, there's a trough with that batch of moisture and then the areas of snow here over the east side, slowly moving eastward there with a low in the northern Gulf of Alaska, right along the southeast coast there, southern Prince William Sound to be exact. And that brought some pretty good rainfall amounts. Cordova had the heaviest rainfall amount reported in the last 12 hours today. Ending at 3 p.m. this afternoon, they picked up about 1.5 inches of rain again at Cordova. Valdez had just under 1 inch of precipitation. And in the Copper River Basin, Gulkana had 0.5 inch of rainfall there. So again, that higher elevations falling as snow and into the Alaska range there, hence the heavy snow warning that's out in that area. Otherwise, the sunshine and breezy conditions, Kodiak Island to Bristol Bay, Alaska Peninsula. Adak had some sun today under high pressure there. Variable clouds, light wind conditions. Next front increase in the wind and rain out to the west tonight. You'll see that brings gale force winds into the western Aleutians. Stays nice there for Adak and Adak with light winds and really nice conditions here over the central eastern Bering Sea as far as light winds go, and just variably cloudy skies and dry conditions with really that pattern extending all the way up into the Russian Far East there. Another trough, or actually a series of troughs coming around the top of this high, dropping periods of snow into the western Arctic coast. That other trough drops down to about this position for some light snow along the lower Yukon River Valley areas as snow showers diminish and pull off to the east here. Off to the east late tonight, just over the eastern Copper River Basin and for the southeast coast. Still cloudy skies with showers there, starting to dry out and clear out over Cook Inlet and south central Alaska. Stays nice, Bristol Bay into Kodiak Island. And the forecast for Tuesday, that moisture here shifts eastward to about this position. So more snow coming into the Tanana Valley there, extending down to about Denali Park and really not getting south of the Alaska range at all, maybe into Healy, and that's about it. Possibly Denali, but south of there, Cantwell on down will be dry and increasing sunshine. In fact, mostly sunny tomorrow from Bristol Bay, the Alaska Peninsula, Kodiak Island, all across the North Gulf Coast. Becoming partly sunny for the Copper River Basin, but good sunshine, Prince William Sound, even some clearing over toward Yakutat. Markedly drier here for the southeast coast. And then this batch of moisture here, as we'll see on Wednesday, makes a big push to the north, spreading rain into the southeast coast. Wind and rain on the increase. Gale force winds coming in toward Kodiak Island in the late part of the day. Increasing wind for the Alaska Peninsula. Dry over the interior with mostly clear skies from the Brooks Range all the way down to the Kenai Peninsula. And Wednesday evening, start to see some increasing clouds here over south central Alaska. And then actually by Thursday, that moisture pulls northwestward into southern Alaska. Otherwise, a weak front out here brings some light rain into the central Aleutians, with the heavier action staying up to the north over the western Bering Sea areas. And still westerly flow carrying some surges of light snow along mainly the western Arctic coast, with less effect on the east side. Lows tonight up that way in the 20s and 30s for the north slope to the Arctic coast, teens for the Brooks Range, and then 20s for the eastern interior, and 20s to lower 30s. South central Alaska, lower 20s Copper River Basin, 30s out to the southwest, in the 30s for the most part over the Bering Sea and the Aleutians, milder out towards Shimia, and lows in the 40s, mid to upper 40s for the southeast coast. Highs for Tuesday afternoon, 50s for the Panhandle, lower 50s Kodiak Island, mid 40s here for south central Alaska, lower 50s there toward Seldovia and Homer, near 40 for the Copper River Basin, and in the 30s for the central interior, 20s for the Brooks Range, and in the 30s for the North Slope and Arctic coast, 40s, lower 50s for the Aleutians and Bering Sea, upper 30s there around St. Lawrence Island. Lows the following morning, right around 10 degrees here for the Brooks Range area, 19 at, let's see, call it Bettles there. Otherwise, teens and 20s here in the central interior, near 30 for the Arctic coast, and 20s to lower 30s, south central Alaska, upper 30s Kodiak Island, and lower 40s for the Panhandle, lower 40s for the eastern Aleutians, near 40 for the Pribilofs. Highs 45 to 50 Bristol Bay for Wednesday afternoon, lower 50s Kodiak Island with the winds increasing and rain, and in the 50s for the Panhandle, mid 40s south central Alaska, mid 30s Copper River Basin, and 30s central interior, 20s and 30s from the Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast.